Zidane Danny, Electro Ninja here, and welcome back to Electro Ninja's Lab. Bandai, don't take this as a invitation to make the next game. I'm just giving my final thoughts on on Once Justice 2, okay? But yes, this is my review of Once Justice 2 as my final thoughts. I've played through everything. I've gotten the chance to mess around with every single thing in the actual game, and I've completed the story. Now, I'm not going to talk too much about the story because the story was fine. They don't really need to change anything, but I would go back to the way that they did it in the first game, just because that was a little bit more fun, in my opinion. Um, but other than that, the story was fine. The only thing that I would suggest for when they make Once Justice 3 is to uh one, obviously take the aspects of both stories, because the branching thing was more fun, but keep the thing that tells you what you need, except for maybe have one of the things remain unknown until you complete the game, until you complete the story of it, and then reveal it after you've completed that chapter, whether they completed it or not. Um, so that's that. As for how much of the story they need to do, like I've said before, wait a bit. The simple fact of the matter is that there's not much there for a villain story this during what just happened, as well as the future, because next arc, believe it or not, has nothing to do with villains. Like, the only villains you see in that entire arc are, well, what's about to happen in the next episode of My Hero Academia. And I kind of classify that in the same arc as next season. So, yeah, they need to be careful. Um, but other than that, that's it. Basically, wait until the season's done and then release the game and have all of it. But that's it for that. Um, Now, let's actually talk about actual gameplay. So, this is the current way that you select your battle rules. It's a great way that they did it. Everything is well designed. Only things I would change is add another timing for to be at like 30 seconds, because I know that some people would rather be able to do battles a little bit faster. Maybe also add a 120, because I know that some people like that. I know, weird, but yeah. Um, and it's good that they actually have the rounds. It was well designed. So yeah. Um, uh, Sidekick being able to enable it and disable it, good choices. But the actual thing that needs to be changed is the battle types. Um, I only have two controllers, so I didn't actually get to check out everything. And one of my biggest problems is actually that there's only three options. There's the one player versus the CPU, one player versus two player, and then this. I would actually add a lot more options. First off, one player versus CPU. Obviously, keep that. That's perfect. I would also add, though, a CPU versus CPU, because some people like to see that happen. I would also suggest adding another mode, a tournament mode, because keeping track of it yourself, not the best, and that's something that I really liked from Super Smash Bros. So maybe implement that, but that's just me. Next, though, is actually one player and two player versus CPU. Right now, there is one player and three player versus two player and four player. It's a great option, but I would actually implement more options for it. like I said, one player and two player versus CPU, one player and two player versus three player, and other options like that. And things like that would really benefit the game. Obviously, do keep the one player versus two player with the ability to disable, enable the sidekicks. But the whole one player versus three player, one player and three player versus two player and four player, it it was good, but it needs a little bit of work. Because, like I said, there's a lot of options here that would have been really helpful to actually determine what you would do. What I would actually do is kind of like what they have for Super Smash Bros. Basically, one player gets the players get to decide which characters are different options. That would have been really cool. Obviously, don't go too far beyond four players because at that point, it's chaos, and really only the Switch can handle that. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, actually, to the actual things that I would change, and this kind of plays into what I would also change about this game, but that's just how I am. First off, there are characters that need to be removed. Obviously, the three villains, Muscular, Stain, and All for One, really they didn't need to be in here. I mean, they have good opportunity, but honestly, they have no reason to be in here. All three of them are in jail and don't do anything. Maybe having them as a free DLC to actually let people who really want to play as them be able to play as them. But honestly, it would have been better to just not have them. I mean, you can still keep them in there, but it's not really a good thing. This is actually something that I also want to bring up for next game. There are a lot of characters such as Chisekai version 2, as well as Deku Folk Howling 100%. These two characters don't need to be in future games. Chisekai completely, he cannot be in his story. He is basically dead. He cannot do anything from this point forward, as he has no quirk now. He is basically quirkless. So while they could implement him as a character in the future, really there's nothing to be done for him. He's basically pointless, like I said. So removing him would actually be completely reasonable. I will say that I do like to have Rappa, so maybe keep him. But he's basically in the same boat as All for One, Stain, and Muscular, as in they're in jail. So whether or not you want to keep them, maybe remove them. I would also remove Shigaraki before style. He's not ever going to look like that again. He looks like this now, and he's never going to change back to that. The whole hands thing, yes, he will probably continue to wear the hands, but he's not going to be wearing them like this. That outfit has run its course. He's now wearing this outfit. So, I mean, maybe he'll wear it again, but I don't know. And as for the face mask, it's gone. He does not use it anymore. He still has it, but he doesn't use it. And yeah, like I said, remove the Dekus. Having Deku in the game is, of course, completely reasonable. But the thing is that at this point there are 3 Dekus. And having all 3 makes sense for this game, because you start out by playing as this Deku, even though it's for a very short amount of time, and then you immediately go into shoot style and you stay as shoot style. They implemented this in the last game as free DLC. So I don't know if they really needed to actually implement old Deku because he's not really important. So actually removing these two specifically, and then in the future actually removing shoot style Deku because he's not gonna be in this much longer, would actually be reasonable because having that would be just plain and simple too many Dekus. Deku has a lot of versions that are coming up. The simple fact of the matter is that if they're doing the same thing that they've done already, they're going to implement 2 more Dekus next game. They're going to implement Gauntlet Deku, and they're going to implement Black Whip Deku. And you see my issue here. The fact that they're going to implement both of these means that they're going to need to figure out a way to cut down on using him. So removing the two previous Dekus, great decision if they make that decision later down the line, especially since they're going to add a ton more characters. Also, I would remove Togata. He's a great character, and I know that a lot of people are going to be sad to not be able to play as him anymore. But actually removing him is completely reasonable because during this time, he doesn't have powers. He is completely without powers. And unless they want to implement him as just his normal, with his quirkless version, which is playable in the story mode, and only have that version of him, okay, fine. But the thing is that having normal Togata is kind of weird right now. Obviously, he'll be great to have later down the line, but for now, removing Togata kind of makes sense. And then it's just on to adding the characters. I've made my also obviously remove Night Eye. I don't even know why they put him in here. I'll be honest. Night Eye is a great character and he really deserves some attention, but he's dead now. So actually getting the chance to play as him, it was fun, but don't put him in 3 because he's gone and he's not coming back ever. So yeah, remove him. He's not important. I mean, maybe they can do something cool with the current arc, but he's not there. He's really not. And then add characters. No joke. They need to add over 20 characters. Maybe 40, considering what they need to add. They need to add a Gentle Criminal, Spinner, and I'm forgetting who else. They need to add one more villain, and I'm forgetting who he is. Who he or she is. But yeah, I would also, I'm not suggesting that they take the first movie into consideration since there's really no real villain there. But take the characters from the second movie. Second movie was fantastic, improved everything, and it was actually really awesome because we got to see all of the characters in action. Actually implementing that to the end of the hero arc in the story would be great. What I would actually do is I would actually make that so that you can only play through that once you've completed both the hero arc and the villain arc, which would actually be all of this upcoming season, all of season 5. So take that stuff and put it together to, you have to complete all of that, and then you can play through the movie story. That would be a fantastic way to actually continue to tell the story. Like I said, there's a lot of characters that have to be added obviously they need to finish up Class 1A. 100% next game they're going to complete the roster. They may even complete the roster during this game for the DLC. But they also have to add Class 1B, which is a total of 20 characters. 20 new characters that need to be added, and that's going to take a while. So implementing them now, or at least starting work on them, it would make a lot of sense. The fact of the matter is that a lot of these characters have very different play styles, so starting work on it now would make a lot of sense. And yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all of the characters. Obviously, there's a lot that needs to be improved on for the next game, and that's one of the reasons why I've been saying, and I'm saying again, wait a bit on 3. Obviously, if you're going to start it, then start now, because there's a lot of characters. Basically, what I would do if I was Bandai, I would start work on the game now, or have already started work on the game, by taking One's Justice 2, removing the characters that are no longer needed, implementing the characters that are needed, and so on and so forth. Believe it or not, I'm actually suggesting removing All Might as well. So, yeah. But that's mostly because he doesn't have a quirk anymore. He can't fight. I mean, I don't play as him, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of other people don't either. So, yeah. Just something to think about. But there's a lot of stuff that could be improved on. Like I said, if they're going to implement the movie, or the second movie, I should say, into this game, that would into 3. I mean, because they should not implement it into this game. It is too early. Like, it's too early for the movie to have actually been seen by some people, because if you've only seen the anime, it's got spoilers aplenty. So, yeah, be aware of that if you are going to watch the movie. But implementing it into One's Justice 3, great option. So, I don't know. That's just my thoughts for now. Obviously, there's a lot of other thoughts that I have in this. And the fact of the matter is that there's a lot of characters that I haven't met yet that will probably be great for the villain side. Because, like I said, when I said that they may have to add over 40 characters, I'm not kidding. Like, this roster is like 41 right now, I believe. I'm not 100%. But when I say that they need to implement at least 40 more, that's not a joke. First, they need to finish up Class 1A, then they need to add Class 1B, and then, on top of that, they need to add Shinso. They need to add all of the new villains that are going to be added in next season. 2 arcs from now. So, yeah, keep that all in mind. One's Justice 3, if they make it the way that I'm imagining that they're going to make it, then they've got their work cut out for them. And for those of you who want the game out really early, like as early as we got this one, hold your horses. Honestly, I'm not even expecting the game to be released until maybe the end of 2021. That's not a joke. I mean, the game came out literally the beginning of this month for One's Justice 2, and even though I'm done with it already, I'm not wanting the next game until at least December of 2021. Because, like I said, there's no point in adding it now. releasing it for uh, people who are going to be buying it, all these games for Christmas, maybe, yeah. But considering the fact that next season is going to start up probably in October, maybe later, maybe in January. Yeah, there's a lot that needs to be thought about for this season. So, those are just my thoughts. Obviously, a few other things will need to be implemented as well. Um, uh, More for One's Justice 4 if they ever make that. Because season 5, it deals with some interesting things that really affect Ochako and Bakugo. Because they're gonna need new outfits. uh, so when they actually implement, when they make One's Justice 4, I'm curious to know what they're gonna do for that. Like I said, there's a lot that's going on right now in the manga, so I don't. I'm gonna say that for now they're gonna be fine to just add uh, the special version of Bakugo for the next game, but nothing else really needs to happen. Obviously, new outfits for everyone, but for them specifically, nothing else. But anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. If you know what's actually happening in the manga, then let me know. I also want to know what you guys think is gonna happen with Bakugo and Ochiko's outfits, because that's an interesting concept. I will be talking about that more in 2 videos from now, I believe. But leave your theories about anything down in the comments below, because I'm prepping for the theory review video, so get ready for that. But anyways, guys, I have been Electro Ninja, and I will see you guys next time. But before I actually forget, there is going to be another video today, because something came out yesterday. So yeah, expect another video later today. You're getting 2 videos for today. But